Hello again, it's John. It's the aforementioned next time. Last thing I did, I talked about people who make up their own martial arts and kind of, you know, people looking into those teachers, be careful of that, and the people who are saying they made up their own art, be careful of your ego. I did mention in the process of the sort of general ranting that I did, because I'm an internal practitioner, that's kind of going to be where I'm going to come from. That's going to be what I'm going to know a little bit more. I started mentioning something about people who didn't teach breathing. This is something that really bugs me. I don't care if they're teaching Qigong, Taiji Chuan, Xingyi Chuan, Bagua or yoga, and maybe even Aikido. I don't know enough about Aikido to be able to be that intelligent about saying this, but I would imagine, given that's a little bit more internal, probably the same thing with that. If you have a teacher and you're taking any of these things, you're taking anything remotely internal, meditative, relaxing, anything like that at all, including the martial arts, and they don't teach you about breathing, you need to find a different teacher. Might sound harsh, but it's true, because you will be missing the most fundamental of fundamental things at all. You know, you can't build a house from the roof up. You know, I'm actually listening to these lectures about ancient Egypt. You got to clear the sand down to bedrock and build off of bedrock. Breathing is going to be that bedrock, or your pyramid's going to collapse. I know, a little weird analogy, but still, that's what's going to happen. You know, one of the meanings for the character for Qi is breath, breathing. You do breathing more than any other sort of activity that you have remote control over. It's just vital, necessary. It's one of the basic ways to start taking out some of like the anxiety and stress and panic and disorder, sort of diseased things from our minds, helping calm the brain, helping calm the heart and the lungs, keeping everything centered, relaxed, groovy, and being able to function in those internal aspects in the appropriate way. If they don't teach you breathing, you aren't going to learn a damn thing. I don't care if you're taking Tai Chi and you can beat everybody up. You're not doing Taiji if your breathing isn't combined with emotions and it isn't taught in a certain way. Now, from what I understand about yoga, it's a little bit more sort of like the sitting Chan Zen sort of things, where you have the prenatal breathing. A lot of the stuff I do with the Taiji, Xingyi, Bagua, Qigong are going to be more the postnatal breathing. Now, what that means. In China, they focus a lot on what's called the lower dantian. It would be the sacral or second chakra if you're doing like Reiki or yoga or know anything about the chakra systems. So it's like 2 inches below the navel. So if here is my navel or belly button, and then about 4 fingers, 2 inches down, about where your belt buckle would be, in through here. Now, from there, I apologize for my hand being right in the way. I just sort of went into my usual sort of thing, used the right hand instead of the left. I was not being mindful. About an inch into the body is kind of where it starts. You're not going to find this on a autopsy. They're not going to talk about it on CSI or something like that. Inch into the body, you breathe in, you pull that back, you exhale, push it forward. So you're almost thinking of taking that area here. So if this is my navel, here, this is the dantian, and my elbow back here is called the Ming Men, or it's right in the small of my back. So I got my belly button, my dantian, which are actually going to be back in here, and I breathe in, pull it back, exhale, push it forward. One of the things I thought when I first started was breathe in. So I kind of came in and then had like a J coming up and still filled in my chest. You don't want to fill in your chest. You want to use your diaphragm, because you get your diaphragm opens up the lungs down the way they're supposed to go. You fill better with breath. You breathe out to the sides, you got ribs right there. Your body has made itself in such a way where you're not supposed to breathe with your chest. And yet everyone breathes with the chest. That brings up all that other stuff and stagnates with the heart and the lungs. and brings things up to the brain, and it just messes stuff up there. We wonder why we have anxiety. We wonder why we have heart and breathing problems. Everything's up here. We're not getting anything to relax. Even if you think of it as a purely mechanical, you're creating tension in that, you're holding tension in that, and all the problems that holding tension in certain areas of the bodies can do, and bringing in stress around the heart, just in the baseline physiology, this sort of thing will help be able to counter that. So you breathe in, you pull that area back, exhale, push forward. This would be the postnatal. The prenatal is reverse that. So you breathe in, you push the dantian, lower dantian forward, you exhale, you let it rest back in. So you're still going, you're going breathe in, forward, as you exhale, it comes back that way. So, and it's super quick, throwing it out there really fast, because I think it's important. It's more than important, it's absolutely necessary. So if you got a teacher in internals or yoga or something like that, they're not saying this is how you breathe, this is why you breathe, find a different teacher. They're not going to teach you what you need to know. You know, if they're saying, if you're doing a Taiji class, for example, and they're like, they never teach you breathing, we're like, what about breathing? It was like, oh, you know, just breathe naturally. Ask them what the 8 energies are too. See if they can be intelligent about that. Who knows? Maybe they can't. But with internals, it's necessary, like I said earlier, you combine the movement with the breath. Even if you're weightlifting, you do that. You breathe in. You have to exhale on the expression. If you're just Western working out correctly, you still need to know how to breathe right. So if you have an internals, they're not teaching you breathing. Any sort of exercise and not doing some sort of focus on breathing or something like that, and how to combine it with the movements correctly, find somebody else. Because it's not going to do you any benefit. You don't need to be a D-bag about it and be like, you're not teaching me breathing. And this bald guy on YouTube said, if you're not teaching me breathing, yeah, I need to do that. Just be like, you know what? I'm going to try something else. I don't really have time right now. Stuff came up, family or work, or, you know, I want to, yeah, try something else. I want to do something else, or, yeah, this isn't kind of working the way I felt like it would. I'm just going to kind of review some things. There's dozens of polite and positive ways to be able to kind of be like, I'm just going to. Now, so, another sort of cautionary thing. Breathing most important. They're not teaching you breathing, find somewhere else. If the book you're reading doesn't talk about breathing, and it's supposed to be, oh, learn Tai Chi in this book, return it, get your money back, spend it on something cool, make some tea, a nice cushion to sit and breathe on. All right, thank you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I don't know why I can't remember that one. And subscribe. So, thank you, and see you next time.